doing lymphatic drainage, but you're not seeing results, and you're not somebody that has a bowel movement every single day. You must poop every single day. Now let's talk too about the quality in just a second. But if you're not having a bowel movement every day, that 100% is affecting your body's ability to not only remove fluid, but the waste products that have built up within your lymphatic system. So in this video, we're gonna talk about what your bowel movement should look like, the frequency, and then some tips and tricks on what you can do to get things moving again. And I'm gonna show you my tried and true method for getting people, especially kids, this works so fast on kids, regular and starting to poop. All right. Now, if you are not having a bowel movement every single day, at least once a day, minimum, and there's an and, the amount of matter coming out of you is not from wrist to elbow, like that amount, not circumference, but lengthwise, it tells me that you are constipated. And that's a problem. If we are constipated, it means that our body is ultimately reabsorbing the fluid from our stool in our intestines. And why our body does that is because as the fecal matter is sitting there, our body is like, oh, there's water in here I can reuse. Why does it do that? Because most of us are dehydrated. We're not hydrated at a cellular level. That's why you guys hear me talking all the time about drinking water with salt. I already have my salt in my water so that I can rehydrate between takes or between videos or between client calls or whatever it is that I'm doing. So hydration is so important. So when we're constipated, our body is absorbing the water because it thinks it's doing us a favor. The problem is when our stool becomes harder, which is what happens when we remove water, it slows things down. And it's not that our body is only absorbing the water, it's also absorbing the toxins found within the fecal matter with the water. Not good. That ultimately means we're reabsorbing the toxins and waste products that our body's trying to remove. So we need to make sure that we are having regular, healthy bowel movements. Now, it's not only enough that we have the right amount, but it really should look a specific way. What we want to see is we want our bowel movements, like I want you looking in the toilet, our bowel movements should be like a long sausage-like structure, okay? If you have a bunch of bumps in it, if you have clumps of hard pellets, or if you have really soft, mushy bowel movements, that tells me that we're not having a healthy bowel movement. It means something's happening within our system and we do need to look into it to address it. Now, we're gonna focus on the latter, the more constipated part this time. Then we can talk in another video about if somebody is having more softer stools, more of the diarrhea, what could be going on. But focusing on more of the constipated stool, again, it means that things are sitting in there too much and we're reabsorbing the water and the toxins. So a couple easy things that you can do would be, one, chew your food better. Now you might be like, say what? Most people do not chew their food well enough. Your food, like when you swallow it, should be applesauce consistency. I want you to take a second and think about that. Are you chewing your food until it's nice and soft, essentially like applesauce consistency? The likelihood is probably no. That's usually 32 chews per bite. Most of us are like 7, if we're lucky. We're like, which puts me at our next thing. Not only are we not chewing well enough, we're also eating really fast. And when we eat really fast, it puts us in a sympathetic state, meaning fight, flight, go. That does not constitute rest and digest. So we need to slow things down. Sit down when you eat your food, chew your food. Literally taking 15 minutes is gonna help make a world of difference because that's also gonna help with transient time. That means how quickly things move through you. So if it takes longer than 24 hours, there's likely some constipation happening in there because our food should be moving through us between 18 and 24 hours. Now, how can you find out your transient time? Simple. You can eat things like beets and see how long from when you ate the beets do you have like red in your stool or in the toilet. That's a simple way. So ultimately, just track the time. Now, if you are doing all those things and you're like, gosh, it's still not working, come with me. What you're gonna need is you're gonna need an oil. I choose castor oil. Castor oil is my go-to oil. I'm gonna show you the exact massage that I do on adults, on kids, on babies, that helps get everything moving when you're constipated. All right, so grab an oil. Again, my favorite is castor oil. I get the best results using castor oil. Things happen a lot quicker, but you choose whatever you want, but you do need an oil. All right, join me. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to lay down. Now, grab your oil. I am, as you can see, putting a cloth over my shorts because I don't want my oil ruining it. But what you're going to do is you're not going to have shorts on, okay? You want your entire abdomen down to your pubic bone exposed, because what we're gonna do is an abdominal massage. So I put oil around the outside, and this is the exact step. So left side, right side. We always start on the left from our hip bone, and we're going down to our pubic bone. So we're going down to our pubic bone. Now you're gonna do 10 swipes with decent pressure. Now this is not lymphatic massage, guys. We're pushing in because ultimately what we're like, our goal is to affect the stool that's sitting in like our colon, our intestines. And so we're ultimately like trying to move it down. Now we're starting here because this is the end. We don't ever start on the right, because if we do have congestion, we're ultimately causing a bigger backup. Okay, so once we do 10 from the hip down to the pubic bone, then we go left rib down to hip. So I'm gonna do 10 swipes here, and you can see that I'm giving some decent pressure. I'm going in, I'm using the pads of my finger, and I'm covering it with my other hand. Now you can just do one hand if you want. I find it more comfortable doing both. Now once I do 10, then I'm gonna go down and do like 3 swipes down to the pubic bone, because I'm ultimately wanting to constantly move everything around. Now we're gonna go right rib to left rib. So across. So now we're working the transverse. And the reason I like castor oil too, guys, is because it lasts longer, meaning it stays on my skin and it doesn't dry up, and I'm not tugging. You can see that there's no tugging. Now, as you're doing this, you might get some gurgling, you might feel some movement, all good signs. The other thing I want to let you guys know is you can see my knees are bent. This is more comfortable than laying with your legs flat and accentuating your lumbar curve. So once we do 10, we're gonna go 3 down. So down, and this time I'm going all the way down. So hip to pubic bone. Now we're gonna go right hip to right rib. So now I'm gonna switch hands. I'm gonna have my right hand on the bottom, bringing it up. So up. And ultimately, guys, all we're doing is we're following how our intestines move, but backwards. Again, end in sight. Just like we do with lymphatic drainage, we always start with the end and work our way back. If we start at where everything quote unquote starts, like, right, like our intestines, our large intestines start down here. If we have congestion and all of a sudden we have congestion here and I don't clear this and I'm just pulling all of our stool up here, I'm creating a bigger blockage. So we want to move the congestion, and then again, across, down, and over, 3 of them. Now, what I can tell you, only do this once, especially if you're using castor oil, per day. Give it some time, but what you will see happen, especially in kids, you will see that within generally a 24-hour period, they're gonna have a bowel movement. Now, if within 24 hours a bowel movement is not had, then you can do this again. Now, this is more of a temporary fix. Like, this is something that I would do if my toddler hadn't pooped in 2 days, or if I'm traveling and I get backed up. But if you're somebody that regularly does not have a bowel movement for days on end, This is great to help you start to have bowel movements, but you gotta figure out why you're not having them regularly. So go back, look at your hydration, so making sure you're hydrated at a cellular level. You're chewing your food properly, so 32 chews or applesauce consistency, and you're not running around while you're eating so that your nervous system can switch into rest, digest, and drain mode, because that's the only way that all of this is gonna work. And again, if your lymph is not benefiting from lymphatic drainage and you're not pooping, we got to get both of these systems working together. Give this a try and let me know what you guys think below in the comments. Thanks for being here and happy draining.